Some temptations that we face happen quite suddenly, and we've slipped up and told that lie or said that unkind thing before we know it. Other temptations keep coming back to us to wear down our will to resist. The temptation that Joseph faced from Potiphar's wife was like that. Here Joseph describes his service in Potiphar's house. Slavery is a terrible thing. I was treated as though I were an animal by the slave traders who sold me to a man named Potiphar. Pharaoh was the ruler of Egypt, and Potiphar was one of his officials in charge of the palace guard. Service in Potiphar's house was not hard, and the Lord helped me to please him. In fact, he made me his personal assistant. Potiphar was so pleased that I was placed in charge of all his other servants. I controlled all his property. The only decision he needed to make was what he wanted for lunch. One day, while I was working in the house, my master's wife asked me to make love to her. It seemed that she had found me attractive. I was horrified at her suggestion and said to her, "My master isn't worried about anything in this house because he has placed me in charge of everything he owns. No one in my master's house is more important than I am. The only thing he hasn't given me is you, and that's because you are his wife. I won't sin against God by doing such a terrible thing as this." I hoped that by being very clear about this, she would leave me alone, but she kept nagging at me day after day. One day, while none of the other servants were in the house, she grabbed my coat and said, "Make love to me." I struggled free from my coat and ran out of the house, leaving my coat behind. She was so angry that she called the other servants, showing them the coat. She said I had tried to rape her. When Potiphar came home, she said, "That Hebrew slave of yours tried to rape me. When I screamed for help, he left his coat and ran out of the house." Potiphar was very angry, and before I could protest, he ordered me to be taken to prison. Prison was not a pleasant place, but even there I knew that the Lord was with me. Before long, the jailer had come to trust me and put me in charge of all the other prisoners.